Welcome everybody to tutorial number 13. So we're gonna pick up from where we left off. So as I said, what I've done here, I've just copied all my pipes, one of the pipes this many times, all around the circles that we've created. But I don't think I've showed you how to actually do it. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure it out, but I'm gonna show it to you anyway. So select the first pipe that we have created, and click copy. Choose the center point of your circle as the base point and just snap it onto the next center point of the other circles, and that's pretty much it. So go ahead and do that. If you need to pause, go ahead and pause and draw this out. Copy this out so you have this looking kind of looking like this. And let's go back to structure and I'll show you all of it. So this is what it should look like. I know we don't have the holes really showing up, but that's totally fine because we're not gonna, it is again a representation. We don't need to show it, and that's totally fine. Okay, so go ahead and pause now if you need to. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the cover over, because as you remember, the according to Professor Gable, we need to make something that would cover most of our halfway up down to our pipes, so the waters can spray out, but the vapors can't just escape there, because we want it to come from the down through the demister, and there will be a hole right there and go to the next cell. So we're going to do that. So let's select only our grid and hide everything else. Okay, so perfect. Now I will show you guys where we're going to create our, there we go. I know it's a bit hard to see, but you know what, I'm going to reduce the size of our font because it's always getting in the way. So let's click our structure and go to structure, edit, and font size. I'm gonna make it to 50. Perfect. I think it might be a little too tiny, but I think that would do. Okay, so we're gonna create a little cover from halfway through from here all the way up there, all the way up there to down to here. So and it's gonna span the entire length. So to do that, first thing we're going to do is we're going to switch. Actually, actually we do need to switch. We're going to switch our coordinate system. So just go ahead and grab the entire coordinate system and put it right there. And now we want this plane to be the X and Y plane. So I'm going to grab my Z or Z and do so. So now you can see that is our drawing plane right now. So let's go back to modeling and choose the box again. Choose the box, choose the first point there. And remember, the second point needs to be at the midpoint of that grid point. Perfect. And now we're going to choose the direction of our thickness. We want it that way, and just type 10. Perfect. So it's done. Now we can do the same for the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to select this corner and go all the way up to the midpoint of that point. Okay, and we want the thickness to be that direction, so put your mouse toward that direction, type 10, press enter. Perfect. And it's done, almost done. Now we just need a top cover here, so we're gonna put a top cover there, so we know where is our what do you call, pipes are actually encased, and then the flanges are gonna go on top of this where the water would spray on. So again, we need to switch our user coordinate system. So we want Z to be pointing upward now. So just grab it, and that's it. I'm going to choose box again. Okay, we're going to choose there and go up to there. Perfect. Oh, no, I press escape. I do apologize. Let's do that again. That corner to that corner. I'm going to choose the thickness down that way, type in 10, press enter. Perfect. So that bit is done. And let's see how this looks now. It looks pretty decent. So let's show everything from structure under visibility palette. Oh, show all. So this is what we have now. We are not that far off from being done. In fact, Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we can either create our holes where our vapor is going to run to just around those 2 points where it's going to get to the next cell. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. To do that, we need some sort of a 3D shape to subtract from that plate. So we're going to create that 3D shape first. So select your grid and hide everything else so we can easily work on it. And now grab your point, sorry, your coordinate points, and snap it onto that point. And I want the plane to be pointing away. I want to work on that plane, so I want it this way. Perfect. Now I need to look into that plane there, and so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just rotate so I'm looking at that plane on isometric and click on the view that shows up. Perfect, it showed up perfectly. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to create a hole there. Okay, so let's go back to modeling and choose a line. Let's draw a polyline. Actually, we want a polyline, so start typing P line. Oh, something happened there. Why isn't this working again? Okay, so start typing P line. Okay, and start drawing that little snapped onto some sort of a midpoint, which I don't want it to do. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's take a look if it's actually drawing it on the right direction. Okay, it is. So it was just me freaking out. Okay, so let's first of all, let's delete this line. We're gonna do P line again, P line, and we're going to draw our little square. Okay, now we do want this hole to be a little smaller than this, the actual hole size. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our offset command again. Again, it's under modeling, modify, and this little thing called offset. It's going to ask us for offset. So we know this is meter by meter. Let's say we make it 250 inside 200. Let's just do 200. 200, enter, and we're going to select our object. No, not that object. No, not that. Come on, let me select that. Okay, so this is one of the challenges of AutoCAD. So go ahead, use your green window to select everything, and then unselect the grid, so only that will be selected. Click offset, specify offset distance, enter 200, and bam. So we had to do that, but that's fine, I don't mind. Sometimes AutoCAD does do that. I know there is a new way of selecting multiple things and choosing which one you want to select, but having that turned on can be really annoying as well. So I'm just going to select everything. Oh, not with the green window, and then press and hold shift and unselect, and let's go ahead and press delete to get out of that. And we're going to copy, mirror this. Let's mirror this onto the other side so it's symmetrical. No, don't want to erase that. And now all we're going to do is we're going to extrude that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So just go back to your isometric view. We're gonna go back to box, gonna select that point and select that point, and it doesn't matter which direction you choose and which thickness you choose, that's good. And I'm gonna do it again for this side, there to there and that. Okay, so that, but I do want it kinda going through the entire plate. So just to be safe, I'm going to select my little box, and as you see, when you select a 3D shape, there's this little arrow shows up. All you can do is if you click one of those arrows, and you can change the thickness of it. This way the thickness is okay, but I wanted the thickness kind of going through the other direction, so I'm just gonna stretch it, and I'm gonna do the same over here. Okay, doesn't matter how thick it is, we're just going to use that as a subtraction point. Okay, so we're gonna go back to structure and show all, and we're just gonna select the plate, the boxes, and our grid, and click on this button called hide others. Okay, perfect. So now we just have those two things showing. Okay, so now let's first, this is the first time we're going to do this, use our subtract command on 3D modeling. Okay, so under modeling there will be a solid editing palette. So on that there should be a little button called subtract. So if you just hover over it, it's going to tell you what to do when you're selecting. So the first you select the one that you want to keep, and the second time you select the one that you want to subtract. Okay, so let's click on that button. It's going to ask us select subtract, select object. So we're going to select our plate first and then press enter, and then we're going to select our objects. Going to select this one and this one, and then press enter again, and voila, we have our hole. Okay, perfect. So let's show everything again so we can take a look how far we have gotten. Where is it? Show all. Okay, so now we have almost our entire thing ready. Okay, so next thing we can do, we can add demisters. So okay, so to do the demisters, we want the vapor. So what's happening, if this is the first cell, our vapor is going to come through here. We're going to have a little plate going this way, so only can go in through the top when the vapor comes in. Going through here, go through there. There'll be a little bulkhead over here, which we'll put in eventually. And it's going to turn around and come back down this way. And the first cell is going to be, the vapor is going to be from the boiler, so it's going to be conditioned water. So we can't really use that distillate. So that distillate is going to flow out and gonna go some other direction we don't care about. But the vapor that's gonna, spraying water is gonna create from the top, is gonna come through here and gonna go to the demister, which the demister we put so it's actually cordoning off this whole area. So none of the vapor with mist will be able to get through there. So it goes through there and comes, the vapor comes through this little hole here and goes to the next cell. So let's go ahead and add our demisters first. Okay, so click on your grid again and hide everything else. So we know the demister needs to be from midpoint here because that's where we put our thing there. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch our layer to demister, and I need to draw it on that plane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Z that direction. Perfect. Now I can draw it easily. So let's go back to our modeling, choose the box. So we know it's gonna need to snap onto midpoint here. Okay, so let's snap onto midpoint there, and the opposite direction. Oh, we snapped onto the wrong point, did we? No, seems to be the right point. Oh, okay, so we just haven't gone far enough. Okay, let's find the midpoint on the other side and choose your height in that direction. So let's enter, I don't know, let's go, this does a meter, let's go 200. That should be good enough. Okay, 200. Now we have our first demister, and now we can just mirror it to the other side as it is symmetrical. I'm going to select a point, a midpoint, and do it until it shows up right. Okay, that's good. No, we don't want to erase our source object, and that's pretty much it. So I'll show you guys another trick. We're going to show everything first. So let's go back to structure and show all. And you can see kinda it's because it's starting at the same point, it's kinda showing through. I kinda don't like that. So we're just gonna quickly fix it. Again, we're gonna use that little thing that we showed. So you can also adjust the any direction, the thickness, height, or width. So I just want it to be shorter by 10 millimeter because I wanted to miss the plate. So 10 millimeter. Now it won't show through. Gonna do that on the other side as well. So we're gonna go 10 millimeter fixed, and we can also do it to the other side. Okay, so select your thing, and I know we can barely see it, so let's make sure we can see it better. Okay, so grab onto that arrow and kind of drag it the direction you want to change it at, and just type in 10. It's gonna be shortened by 10, and we're gonna do the same at this end. Gonna shorten it by 10. Perfect. So now we're almost done. We have done our demisters, and pretty much all we have got left to do right now is put on the little bulkhead for the steam to turn around and do our outside coverings here, so we don't have to do that. Or actually, you know what, we can keep the thing just as is, and then you guys can I'll show you how to make this into a equipment, and then you can add the other structural stuff that we need to add later on. That way you can see where you're adding it and whatnot. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we need a bulkhead just there, so as if there is a place for the steam to turn around and the pipes don't go all the way through, because we don't want the pipes to go all the way through. Okay, so let's select our grid and hide everything else. Perfect. Now again, I want our X and Y plane to be pointing that way, so I want Z that way. Okay, perfect. And I want to look at that plane right there. Okay, so let's press escape and see that. Okay, I don't like that. I'm gonna turn it around. Perfect. So we gonna create another polyline, unfortunately, but that's what we have to do. Make sure you're on the structural plane again, and let's go back to modeling and type P line. Press enter. Nope. Whatever that shows up, I do not know why. Okay, nothing's showing up. I'm pretty sure it's drawing stuff, but nothing is showing up. I'm not sure why. Okay, so let's start P line again. Gonna start there, go there, from there to there. Okay, so it is drawing something. Hopefully it's drawing on the right plane. You never know with AutoCAD. No, it's not. Of course not, because that would be too easy. I have no idea why it does that sometimes. So just go ahead and select it, and we're going to move it. Start typing move. Select any point. Actually, we're going to select that point and snap it onto that point, because that's where we wanted it at. And there's an extra line there. We're going to delete that. Oh, did it delete everything? Oh, good God. Okay, let's undo that. Select that and go move. Select the base point, and we're gonna snap it onto that point. Okay, perfect. Okay, so it is there, it's just not showing up. That's totally fine. Actually, we didn't really need to do this, did we? Well, live and you learn. We can just make a box. Okay, so choose that point and that point, and let's make it how long. I mean, I'm not really sure how much of a space would Vapor need to turn around. What would be sufficient enough space? Let's call it, I don't know, 250, 25 centimeter. No, okay, let's go with 400. Why not? 400. Okay, and let's go back and show everything, because we have to do some cutting. So let's go back to any of those and show all. So right now, what I really want is to hide everything but this plate, sorry, the box and the pipe. So I'm just going to select all the things that I want to hide. I want to hide including our thing over there, and click over here under the visibility palette, the top button, it says hide selected. Okay, so we're just showing the demisters and other stuff. So I'm going to select the demisters as well, and this plate as well, and hide others. Okay, so here is a good chance for us to get rid of those little lines we drew for our hole. Okay, so now all we need to do, oh, there's one here too. We can get rid of that too. There we go. Okay, so now all we need to do, I want the pipes to stop here. So this is like a bulkhead where the steam is going to turn around. So now we're going to use a cutting plane. We have used that for our structure stuff before, so we're going to use it again. So under structure, there should be under structure and cutting, there should be trim member. Go ahead and click on that one. It's going to ask you how you want to cut it. We want to cut it by 3 point that we're going to select. Okay, press OK. Specify a point. So we're going to choose this top point here, and it's going to ask us for another point. I'm going to choose this corner here, because you need a minimum of 3 points to define a surface. So we're going to choose this point there. Perfect. Now we have to create bunch of objects. So sorry, we need to select all the ones that we want to cut. Oh good God. So here's a good point where somehow AutoCAD doesn't let you do that. I guess we'll have to do it one by one. If we done this earlier, then we could have only extended to that side, but now you guys know. Oh boy. Okay, let's go ahead and try that again. So we're gonna use trim member and use 3 points. Well, sometimes you don't know which steps you're gonna take until you've drawn it, and you think I would know it by now because I've drawn it like 3 times already. And now I'm just going to select an object. Now you see it should have cut it. Okay, it has cut it, I think. Or you guys can even leave it like that. It's really not end of the world. Okay, so let's just keep it at that. You guys can cut it each one by one, or we can just shorten it one by one. It all depends. Or we should have probably, when you drew your pipes, you could also define. Actually, you know what? Let's try to see if we can change it through our properties window. So select all the pipes. Oh, and properties windows is not open. Go ahead and start typing properties, and here's our properties window. No selection, it says. Of course there is some selection, buddy. Okay, I don't want those red little things to select as well, so I'm just going to select just the pipes, and let's see what sort of information I get here. Height is, can we make it 8500? Enter. Yay, it worked. Awesome. Now you can see it's shortened, which makes our life so much easier. Oh, I did 8500. It's actually not 8500. We need 8600 because we make the bulkhead only 400. Okay, so let's make this 8600. 8600. Oh, nope. Taper angle. Nope, nothing. No, thank you. Okay, so obviously I clicked on something weird there. Something's going on. I'm just gonna go back and undo a couple of times. Okay, perfect. So let's select our pipes again and go back to here, and we're going to make this into 8600. 8600, and now it should be perfect. Okay, now it's going into the bulkhead, so the steam would come through here, turn around and go back. Okay, so let's go back and show everything else again. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. And the next thing we need to do, we need to put a plate here that's going to separate the steam, that's going to stop the steam from just going through and getting the distillate area. We want it to come through here and go through the pipes around the bulkhead and come back out. So that's what we are going to do right now. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so hide everything else except for your grid again. Okay, so now we need to change our coordinate system. So let's grab that sucker there and put it back to your origin, and I want Z to point that way. Perfect. Now it's just gonna be right over here, so we can just easily do that by going to modeling, create another box. Make sure you choose the center over there, and the thickness you want it to be 1000. So once you start dragging, you can easily start typing 1000, and you want, oh no, it locks in. Okay, so best thing I guess for us would be to draw a tiny little line that would be actually 1000 thickness. So let's just select the midpoint and kind of drag it away so we have it. in the right direction, but then type just 1000. Okay, perfect. Now we have our little lines to snap onto. Okay, so choose box again. Let's choose that point and snap it onto the midpoint, and I want the thickness to be this direction. Why not? Doesn't really matter. It's 10 centimeter, sorry, 10 millimeter. That's pretty much it. Let's show everything now. Oh, where is our show all structure? Show all. Now this is pretty much our basic um, main thing. So obviously you will have to put a plate at the bottom and plates around, and also plates around here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do those first. Okay, I'm gonna again hide everything but our grid. Hide all. So the first thing we're gonna need, we're gonna create a bottom plate. So again, go back to modeling, box. We're on the right plane already. Choose that point and choose the bottom point this way. I want the thickness to go this way. Let's enter 10 again. And that part is done. Now we're gonna create this direction. Okay, so to do that, we should really draw those lines again. That one little line we had was actually pretty good, so we're going to draw those 1000 lines again. So just type line. It is a good practice to delete these lines that we're gonna keep on drawing, but it doesn't really matter. Some people are very anal about it. They can go ahead and do it. That's nothing to me. So I'm just gonna copy this line. Gonna select this as his base point to the other end. So we have something to snap onto. So first we're gonna create the top and the bottom plates. So again, choose box, choose one corner, choose second corner, choose the direction that you want thickness to go, and then type in your thickness. We're gonna do the same for the bottom beds, and we have not done the bottom beds. Okay, but we should be able to work this. Okay, so let's choose that point, and we're going to choose, no, that doesn't work that way, does it? Nope. Okay, so what you can do is type 1000 here and press tab. It will jump onto the other one, and you can choose that one. We know that is 4000, so we're gonna type in 4000 and press enter, and then it's gonna ask you to do it this way, and then you can choose your thickness 10. Okay, and then again what I'm gonna do is select my grid and hide everything else, because we've just drawn a bunch of stuff and it's kind of getting in our way. Okay, so now we want to draw this ones over there. Okay, so like this one coming out this way and this one coming out this way. Okay, so we want our XY plane to be that direction now, so I'm gonna put Z this way. Perfect. Go back to modeling, choose boxes. We're gonna choose this direction, go this way again. We know how high it is, so that's 500 plus 4000, so that's 4500 plus, so it's 5500. So we're gonna just type 5500. Don't press enter, but press tab, and it's gonna go into that way. So we're gonna just 1000, enter, and now we want the thickness that direction, and we're gonna press 10, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna choose 5500 that direction, press tab, type in 1000, press enter, choose thickness direction, and type in 10. Now let's take a look our entire, so let's go back to home, and under visibility click show all. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That is our cell. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to show you guys is how to enter flanges, and we will do that on video number 13, because these videos are getting rather huge. Okay, see you on the next one.